Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's weekly recap, Week 17 reaction video. We'll be talking about all the games from Week 17 and our thoughts and stuff like that. We just released the Power Rankings video. Go check that out. Let us know what you think in the comments. We just recorded it and we just checked out ESPN's. Let's just say they are very different. So please let us know what you think in the comments. Devin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great.
Perfect. All right, so we're gonna go over the games, and yeah. Also, after this video, later in the week we'll be having our new podcast of the week. Go check that out, of course, and share with all your friends. All right, first game. It's the first game every time because it is my favorite team, and it's gonna always be there because it's my ESPN account. The Tennessee Titans beat the Dolphins 34-3. Devin, your thoughts?
There's not much to say here. I will say one thing I am impressed with is how much points the Titans scored.
Yeah.
That's one thing they've been struggling with is being able to score points with the offense they have. So, a good win for the Titans though, especially for a hot Dolphins team.
Yeah. And I said it. I believe in it all week that I didn't think the Dolphins were real. They didn't play any real quarterbacks. And it really. Let me take that back. They did play Lamar before people freak out. Oh my, not a real quarterback. Yeah, he's the real quarterback. Fine. But yeah, they didn't play a big stretch. So I think they showed they got their ass kicked. Tennessee played really good, and all these points are scored by the offense. Only two turnovers by the defense. But they didn't have any touchdowns on defense, so all the points were scored by offense. Offense looked pretty good. All right, next game, the Bills going to beat the Falcons. What do you think?
It's just kind of one of those games, honestly.
Yep.
I'm gonna be real. Like, this has no value whatsoever. If I'm being real, like, sure, the Bills might get a higher seeding, but
yeah, I think
you know,
I think what was really impressive for me is if you look at the stat line, the highest passer was 197 yards. And that was Matt Ryan, and Devin Singletary had 110 yards rushing. I think that's important for the Bills. I think we talked about we needed the Bills to run the ball more, be more successful in the ground game, and it showed. I know the weather was snow, so it was kind of it was going to happen, but I think that's impressive. I think they were able to run the football with their running backs, and that's good for them. I think that's important to go in, especially when you get to the playoffs. You're going to have to go to you might have to go to Kansas City, you might have to go to Nashville. You'll host the first game in the wild card, so I think it's important to see. But I definitely think that you're right. It wasn't a big game for them. They just had to do what they got to do, and they did, and they showed that with the running back. So that was impressive. Good for them. Next, probably the worst game of the week.
oh god,
The Bears winning 29-3 versus the Giants. Just
awful,
terrible.
awful.
Just
This is
terrible.
like,
The Giants are terrible. Awful.
yeah, there's not even much you can say about this game. It's just like two eliminated teams.
Poor Saquon. 21
And
carries for
John,
102 yards. Jeez.
oh,
Just poor dude. Team
Giants
is
got some
terrible.
rebuilding to do.
They got to
They need
restart
to restart.
from the very
I
top.
I agree. I
The
think
very
they can
top
keep
all the
some
way down.
players like Saquon, but
Yeah, I think they'll keep
there's a
some
lot
players,
they
but
gotta get rid
I
of.
think they need a new general management. They need new management up top,
Mhm.
and they might even need a new coach. Who knows? I mean, did you hear the thing where the coach was like, "I have ex players calling me, telling me they wish they would have stayed in New York."
That's
So
such a lie. There's no
that
way.
there's
Nobody
that.
wants to play for the Giants. I'd rather play for the Jets than the Giants. And that, like, if I'm
uh,
being real, at least the Jets have a quarterback that they can work with that has, gotten better throughout the year.
yeah, 100%.
Daniel Jones, who?
Yeah.
Mike Lennon, who?
One of the best games of the year, I would argue. Like, this game
Oof.
was great. This game was a great game. The Cincinnati Bengals beating the Chiefs 34-31. Devin, your team, the Bengals, you were on them. What
Oh
do you think?
yeah, I was rooting for the Bengals. I think this is an important statement for the Bengals to make because the Bengals winning this game, it's like, okay, they're in it and they're serious. They're serious and they can beat teams like the Kansas City Chiefs if need be. One thing that of course, is a worry is their defense, but if their offense can continue to be this explosive, then it's going to cause some struggles for a lot of passing defenses in the AFC.
No, I 100% agree. Actually, I found out today that Jamar Chase had more receiving yards than Patrick Mahomes did passing yards.
How much is
Um,
that?
he
266.
had 266 receiving. Mahomes had 259 passing.
God, I didn't realize
Yeah.
he had 266.
Yeah,
What the
he had
heck?
266. He had an incredible game. Burrow was good. I think I mean 9 incompletions is incredible, especially when you throw for 446 yards. That is crazy. I will say though, one thing I'm concerned about with the Bengals, obviously the Chiefs' defense is a concern. Bengals,
Right.
I'm a little bit worried about the running game. We know the Chiefs are not a very big running team. Williams had 14 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. It is a little concerning for me. Like, he didn't have a massive game, but what if you're going to play Tennessee? You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to face Derrick Henry or Foreman, Or if you're going to play
Yeah.
the Colts in the first round, you're going to play Jonathan Taylor. If you play New England, you're going to have Stevenson and
Damian
Harris.
Harris.
Yeah, so I'm a little concerned when they play a power running team. How is that going to work? Um, but their passing offense is really good. Their offense is really good in general. So it'll be interesting to see if they can stop the run. But I guess their passing defense wasn't so bad. If you're holding Mahomes at 259, I mean that's really not a Mahomes-esque game. So I'd say that I was impressed with their passing game. I think my concern for them going forward is the rushing defense. But like I said, it's something you can adjust to depending on your opponent.
I also want to take a look at the box score there. 14-14-3 for the for the Chiefs and Bengals.
Yeah.
That should be a little concerning. The Bengals were consistent throughout the game. They continued to score points every single quarter. The Chiefs could not finish it in the second half.
Yeah.
They had a good lead at the first half, but they let it go, and that Bengals team
Yep.
stepped up big time. At
100%.
least the defense did second half. So
100%. All right. So we got the Colts at home losing to the Raiders 20-23. Impressive game for the Raiders. I mean, the Colts are very hot coming in, so I think it's good game. Obviously, Taylor ran for 108. This is the first time the Colts have lost this season when Jonathan Taylor rushes for over 100 yards.
mm,
So I think that's crazy to see. This is also not a good sight when you have Zay Jones catching for 8 catches for 120 yards against the Colts. A little concerning when they go into the playoffs, but I think eventually, when you're in a streak, I think you have to lose a game. And Raiders, they're still a good team. They've had a lot of stuff go on for them this year, but they're still a good team. And the Colts really could not afford that one because they could have secured
yeah,
their playoff spot and maybe got a better seeding. Now they're going to be, possibly 7th seed, 6th seed area. I think New England's going to have the 5th seed, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But they didn't really miss out on much.
and a must win for the Raiders. An
Yeah,
absolute must
very
win.
must win. Yeah, exactly, 100%. And they did that. They did that on the road too, which is quite. All right,
Yeah.
Patriots dog walk the Jaguars 50-10. Just
I'm more
ridiculous.
impressed with how well the Patriots offense is able to perform. Even though it's the Jaguars, 50 points is still 50 points.
50
That's a
points is
lot.
50 points. Yep.
But
And
they need to start doing that against big teams.
Yep. And we did say in the podcast that we would like the Patriots to let Mac Jones throw the ball more this game, gain his confidence. He's had 2 rough starts back to back, so let him throw the ball more. And he had a good game, 22 for 30, 227, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, 227 is a good number for a guy that just does what he does, the offense that he's in. That's a very good game for him. So that's good that
I
the guy has
agree.
confidence going into the playoffs. So I like that.
Oh god.
Oh wow. The game that
Uh,
might not. I mean, the fact that it was close is scary, but that's the crazy part is this isn't even the main talking point of the game. The Jets at home lose a nail biter to the Buccaneers, 28-24 in a very close game. As a Bucs fan, Devin, take it away.
All right. So the obvious concern is, first of all, we are starting to see the effect of not only our missing pieces on defense, but now Antonio Brown is gone. So what does that mean? We have literally 1 week to start really finding our guys for the playoffs. And thankfully, Grayson started showing up in this game here. And it was very vital that he showed up this game because now we have next week to kind of like mess around with, how can we, place our receivers? Who are we going to be able to replace that, the spot that Antonio Brown replaced, which was Godwin's spot. Now we need someone to replace. Now we need someone to replace Antonio Brown, which Grayson looks like he might be a good filler for that. And I want everyone to not forget that Tyler Johnson still does exist. And I expect Grayson and Tyler Johnson to be playing a big role in the playoffs, along with Evans and Gronk. And actually, there's one more name that I want to point out. Le'Veon Bell. He had some solid catches and some runs this game. I was actually really happy with the way he played. So yeah, Antonio Brown is a pretty big loss, but I'm honestly more concerned about our defense there's no reason why we should be getting about 24 points against the Jets. And we definitely need some of our pieces back. And not just that, I'm pretty sure we had Jamel Dean and Sean Murphy running back this game. So for them to sit there and blow through our secondary like that is a little worrying for me. So I can't wait to have a full pass rush back. Oh, and a big one, Levante David.
Yeah.
Man, you could tell his presence was missing that game. And it's terrifying.
Yeah. 100%. I definitely think you need the defensive pieces back. But I think this is the most scariest part for me. The fact that the leading rusher in the game only had 54 yards. And that's a Jet player. It's not even a Buck player. I'm a little concerned. I know Fournette's going to come back, but with the losses of Godwin and Antonio Brown now, I think yes, the backups could be reliable. They can come make some plays, but our team's going to be as threatened to them as they were to AB and Godwin. I don't know. Obviously
Mhm.
not. And I think that could affect Fournette's running. I think that could really make the Bucks cannot afford at this point of the season with the players that they now currently are going to play with. They cannot afford to become one-dimensional. They cannot just drop back and throw the ball 50 times with Brady. They really can't. They cannot afford it. So I think that they need to really get their run game going, and they got to find a way. They got to find a way, or it could be a divisional. I don't think they're going to lose the wild card. I think they're way too good. It's Brady. But the divisional exit is very possible with the opponents they could possibly play with the top end teams if they stay one sided. They definitely need to expand. They need to make sure they can still get Fournette his ball, his carries, his yards. So they're going to be able to continue. But it is a little for me. I am a little bit worried. But of course, with some simple, like if they can change their offense around a little bit with the players that they got, easily can make a change and they'll be fine.
I
So
I do want to say one more thing though. It could be a blessing in disguise though. I mean, obviously, having Antonio Brown out of the team sucks. But, I mean, and obviously, it's good that the drama is going to be gone. And
yeah,
I think this win is a lot more impressive than what people think because when you have a player leave, that can be very distracting. So for them to persevere through that and when the game is, I feel like very impressive. The win itself wasn't impressive, but being able to push through a distraction like that is impressive.
yeah,
However, this is why I say it's a blessing in disguise. Now, as a defense, when you're playing against the Bucks, you look at your two main players. I mean, obviously, you can look at the run game when Fournette comes back, but now you're looking at Evans and Gronk.
yep,
Now you won't sit there and you won't try to double team Grayson or Tyler Johnson. And that honestly could be a downfall to a team because if you put one of for Scotty Miller, for example, in the NFC Championship game, it was a one-on-one coverage if I remember
yep,
correctly. Grayson is a fast dude. That dude is insanely fast. I think arguably faster than Scotty Miller. And we've seen game. I think it was the game before this against the Panthers. There was a holding call or a pass interference call on him on the defender because of how fast he was moving. So I think this Panthers game is going to be a good game to quickly get the players adjusted, quickly get Tom Brady adjusted to Grayson and stuff like that. Which I mean, in the Jets game, it looked like he adjusted very well. But can we continue that throughout the weeks? So
yeah.
I think this is a very good, important stepping stone game, and maybe teams will loosen up on coverage and do less double teams, and maybe focus even more on the Bucks run, which would maybe leave the pass game a little bit more open. So who knows? Brady might have to throw a little bit more if
Yeah, it definitely
the run
would have.
game does need to happen.
Yeah,
Like we need to at least get some type of run game established for sure, though.
yeah, no, 100% I agree. Um, it would have been massive for the Bucks if they could have got the 1 seed. They could have had an extra week to get not only
Mhm.
those guys healthy, but to also get those new guys going. Um, but they're not going to get it, so they're going to have to play hard, and they're going to have I think what you guys are the 3rd seed right now. Um,
Yeah, we're the third seed. If the Rams lose, we are the second. I think,
yeah,
yeah, if the Rams lose, we are the second, and they play the 49ers, which is going to be,
possible. And who do you guys play
yeah,
this
because
weekend?
we play the Panthers again. So,
Okay, well, no
oh,
more talking. All right. All right. Yeah, so yeah, okay, so it's looking like right now maybe the 49ers or the Eagles, right? That's your two.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I think we win either game,
Yeah,
and I
I
don't think
think
it's
so too.
close.
Yeah. Well, you said that about the Jets last week. Let's be careful.
Hey, listen here. Hey, this is the postseason.
All right. The Eagles versus Washington football team loses 20-16 at home versus the Eagles. Um, Washington fell apart like their stadium did. I don't know if you saw that clip, Devin, but
Oh,
yeah,
that was funny.
yeah,
That
that
was funny.
that was a little scary. But yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, it was almost a must-win for the Eagles. They are fighting for playoff, contention. To have it this close against a struggling Washington team, it just tells you that the seventh seed that the Eagles are in, like if they're gonna want to win the playoffs and even get to the Super Bowl somehow, they're gonna need to step up the game a lot, which I highly doubt it'll be possible with all the rookies and Jalen Hurts just starting to get adapted to the system and being able to start playing well in it.
Yeah, I think I think it's a close game for Philly. I don't think it should have been a close game. They started out really slow. They obviously got down to 16-7 at halftime, but they clawed their way
Hmm.
back in. Defense started to play better. I I mean they're solid on defense. They're able to run the football, but I don't know if I don't know if they're dynamic enough to be. I mean, at this point, you could play the Bucks, you could play the Rams in the first round. That's two very tough matchups, especially for the way that you want to play. So I'm not
Hmm.
100% sure, how they'll play there. But I mean, who knows? Obviously, it's the playoffs; it all resets. But um, they needed this win, and they're gonna need another win. Although they've already clinched, they're gonna need another win to make sure they don't want. I don't think they want to play the Rams. They really don't want to play the Bucks. If there's They need to get their momentum going to be able to have a chance in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. All right, this game, which is a very, very good game, actually. The Rams on the road sneak past the Baltimore Ravens on a game winner to OBJ, who was not washed, by the way, 2019. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game. Obviously, Stafford had, I believe, 2 picks. Really cannot
Yeah.
do that, but um,
Not sure that what also worries me is that they scored 20 against a hurt defense. Like this Ravens team is absolutely destroyed on injuries, almost like the Titans are right now. And for them to only win by 1 point, that's a little concerning when you play a full, a near fully healthy Tampa Bay team, Cardinals team,
yeah,
Dallas team,
yeah,
Packers team for that matter. Like they're gonna need to step it up, and you give any of those teams 2 turnovers, you
yeah.
know that's worrying. That's worrying if I'm would be a Rams fan.
Yeah, I did like the Rams' defense though. I think their offense gave up some turnovers. That's back-to-back weeks now when the offense has giving up the ball quite a bit, and they're able to
Yeah,
stop them, not hold them to not a lot of points. So the Rams' defense is definitely starting to click. I did see Von Miller make a huge sack on Huntley at the end of the game. Um, so if they're coming together on that defensive line, and of course, that secondary, that defense could be super dangerous. If the offense, Stafford was not turning the ball over all year like he is now. I think that it's possible he could snap out of it, and then they're very, very dangerous because that defense is flying right now. But obviously, it'd be interesting to see. They're gonna have to stop turning the ball over like you said, but. They have a chance. That defense has definitely impressed me. They definitely improved over the past couple weeks since
I
becoming
agree.
a unit. So that'd be pretty interesting. This next game, the Broncos on the road lose to the Chargers 34-13 without their starter Teddy Bridgewater. Of course, this is Locke's game. What are your thoughts?
I've got 2 words for this game. Broncos suck. They are so terrible offensively. There's got to be a lot of changes that happens with that team, and it's not even defensively the issue. That team's defense is almost on the field like literally 90% of the time.
Yeah,
They need. I think they're going to need a new head coach, and they might need to do something with upper management. That team has so much potential, and it's being blown away because play calling sucks.
yeah,
Offense isn't running smoothly with the talent they have. And this was a must win for the Chargers, and now they're literally 1 game away from making the playoffs.
yeah. No, I agree. I think the Broncos. I think they have the talent. Management has done a good job of getting the talent and getting players here. I just think they need a new system. They need a new coach. They need to redo it all. They need quarterback, obviously, which maybe this draft, maybe Rodgers. I don't know what's gonna happen, but they definitely need some talent. And yeah, I think that they have the opportunity in the future, but they're just not ready right now. And I think the Chargers, good game. They played a good defense. They scored 34, nice, and good stuff. And they're gonna need it because they're gonna have a tough game against the Raiders this weekend in Vegas, and then they're gonna have tough playoffs if they make it. So they're gonna definitely need to get the momentum going because they're gonna play some tough teams down the stretch. So good for them to get that win, but yeah. All right. Next, we played the 49ers and Trey Lance's second start of his career, beating the Texans 23-7. Not very boring game. Not very much out of it. I thought Trey Lance was good. I didn't think he was terrible. Um, 49ers just really dominated it, so not really anything special? You got anything?
And, and another must win for them.
Yeah,
They're in the playoff hunt. They had to win that game.
yeah, they really needed it. So, and now the Texans get to play Tennessee and
Yay.
possibly Derrick Henry.
Oh boy.
Anyway, uh, Cardinals on the road, very good game as well. Beat the Cowboys 25-22. Just better from the Cardinals than I expected. I thought Dallas was going to win, but better from Arizona.
And Cardinals really needed to like get their shit together quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
Coming into the playoffs,
Yeah.
like this was like a game where like, all right, let's get it together. We've lost a couple games in a row now. We need to really like tighten up here. Playoffs are coming, and this is going to be a playoff contending team that we might have to face. So good
And
win for the Cardinals.
if the playoffs were to start today, or if they stick after this week, this would be the matchup in the first round.
That would be a fun one. I would love to watch this game.
It would literally be in Dallas again, just exactly how it is right now. So, Cardinals, got to win. Hopefully they took some stuff out of it because they very well could see them in a week from Sunday.
Yeah.
So that would be crazy. Next game, another game that had some playoff potential. Not potential for both teams, but playoff implications for the Saints. The Saints beating the Panthers at home 18-10. Necessary.
Their defense is good. Their offense is not that good. That's the simple way to put the Saints.
100%.
Good D, terrible O.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
It's rough
I don't know.
over there.
It's gonna be a struggle. So they definitely need a win and they need some help next week, but we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Seahawks thrash the Lions 51-29. Finally, the offense we've been expecting all year from the Seahawks. They finally showed up for the second to last game of the year after they've lost 10 games.
And they're eliminated from the playoffs.
And they're eliminated, and they're in the best division in the league. So yeah, that weird game. They did what they had to do. They killed them, but I don't know.
Watch out for the Lions next year, though. I think
Yeah.
people should start watching the Lions because this is with their backup. This is not even with Jared Goff.
Yeah.
And
or whoever they have next year. We don't even know what their plan is for next year. So
exactly, and there's St. Brown. He's been going off the past couple of games, and if that team can start adding some more weapons and start getting the defense tightened up as well, Lions. I'm not saying the Lions are going to be great or maybe even make the playoffs, but they're going to be better.
Yeah,
I like Campbell as their coach. I love him as a coach.
Totally, 100% agree. Sunday Night Football, Packers at home beat the Vikings 37-10. As soon as Kirk Cousins was out, we knew it was going to be
a blowout. This was not even close.
It was a terrible game to watch. It was very, very bad. Rodgers did his thing. I think Rodgers sealed the MVP. I really think he did.
There's some debate on that.
No
I feel like
way. We'll talk about it. We'll do a reward prediction episode later down the line when the reward shows becomes closer. But I think he locked up the MVP, as my personal opinion. He played great. They on offense, they played great. Defense, they did what they had to do against a not so great team. Or not, I shouldn't say team. I should say not so great offense because of the fact that they didn't have a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. They did stop the run against Dalvin Cook, which I thought was pretty impressive, but still not the ultimate tester really.
Right, I agree.
So, very boring game. Finally, our Monday night game, which was a memorable one for Pittsburgh and for Big Ben, as the Steelers beat the Browns, keeping their playoff hopes alive, 26-14. Ben Roethlisberger's final game. What'd you think?
To all the Brown fans over there, I feel so bad for you all. And you have to deal with the quarterback like Baker Mayfield. I'm not going to lie. I know you as well, Dustin, thought Baker Mayfield was going to do well this year. And he honestly has cost the Browns their playoff spot. They throws 2 picks this game. Throws 4 picks against the Packers, which they could have very well won that game.
Yeah.
Very well. 4 interceptions. 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm just like he's got to go. He's got to go. There should be no reason. There should be no reason. And honestly, I think Browns have one of the best talents in the AFC, or close to one of the best talents. maybe like around the top five range, or like the fifth range, or number five range, I should say. I don't think they're any higher than that because there's a lot of other good talents and teams that have talents. But there's no reason why the Browns should be 7-9. There's absolutely no reason,
No.
and they just too much talent to be this bad.
Yeah.
Way too much talent. How do you have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Jonathan People Jones Pope? I can't.
Donovan
Yeah,
Peoples-Jones. Yeah.
yeah, Donovan People Jones
Line.
Pope. You got
That offensive line.
Denzel Ward. Right, that's his name,
Yeah.
right? On the
Yeah.
Browns.
Denzel Ward. Yeah.
Exactly. Denzel Ward, the offensive line, Miles Garrett. Like, who else do you need?
Yeah.
The
I
quarterback. That's what you need.
I think it's crazy. At the beginning of the year, people had them at AFC Championship contenders. Maybe Super Bowl contenders. People that top of the AFC. And we thought that after Baker Mayfield, who had a pretty good year last year, would just thrive with the talent he had around him. He didn't. He suffered. Their defense wasn't even that great. I mean, look at Najee having 188 yards rushing. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's some things that need to be changed around there. Obviously, the quarterback needs to be moved. I think they probably will draft a receiver, make some moves, but definitely not the Browns team that we anticipated when we did. When you think about the beginning of the year, what we thought who would be
Yeah,
where. So
and I think first and foremost comes a quarterback.
yeah,
You
hundred
saw what
percent.
happened to OBJ once he left.
Yep.
OBJ started looking like himself again, like he was in New York.
Yeah, he's balling right now. So
Exactly. Like I haven't seen that from OBJ since New York. Ever
yeah,
since he's been with the Browns, he's been silent. And silent not because of his fault. Silent because he just almost kind of didn't fit in the system in a way.
yeah, I don't think he did.
And he didn't receive. I personally don't think he received the ball enough. And I think
Yeah.
the quarterback play was also not the greatest either. So
Yeah.
if Browns get a quarterback, I would expect them to maybe even win the division or at least be very close with the Bengals.
Yeah.
Because the Bengals are also another team that just needs a few more pieces to, really become a consistent threat every year.
Yeah, and I'm a true believer in if you give the ball to your talent, to your players, the players that you pay big money for, the people
Yep.
that you get, I think that you have a good chance to win every time. I think your big time players, like I think it's with the Rams. Cooper Cup touches the ball
Oh my God,
multiple
10
times a
times a
game. Yeah, he
game
gets the
without
ball
a.
is going his way all the time. It needs to be that way. That's how you can win games. Your best players will let you win games. Like they will help you win games. I think that shows in a lot of different teams. I think with like the 49ers with Debo Samuel, he gets the ball in every single way, shape, form because they know that's the best way for them to win. I think that's what the Browns need to do. I think that the Browns should have done that from the beginning, but they didn't. And I think it starts with a new quarterback this offseason or whatever they got to do. But I definitely think that is something they gotta figure it out. Definitely. So,
100% agree.
all right. Anything else you want to say about these games?
No, I can't believe I'm actually really upset about the whole Baker Mayfield thing.
Yeah, that's
Like, I'm actually more upset about the fact that Baker Mayfield sucks this much than I am about the Jets almost beating the Bucks. Like, that's
imagine.
literally how much it frustrates me. I feel so bad for Browns fans.
All right. If you guys want to check out our Week 18, talk about each game, and take our picks. It'll be in the podcast after this. Yeah. So if you want, go check out our other videos. Like I said, we released a power rankings video before this. We have the podcast later. We have last week's podcast. We'll be doing other stuff as well. Check it out. Check out our channel. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And peace.
See y'all later.